Biographical Sketches, Preface, Dedication, and Organization of the American Postal Service. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Larry Wilson. The American Postal Service, 2nd edition, revised and enlarged. Biographical Sketches, Preface, Dedication, and Organization. Biographical Sketches of the Postmaster General and his 4 assistants. Albert Sidney Burleson of Austin, Texas, Postmaster General, was born June 7, 1863, at San Marcos, Texas. Was educated at Agricultural and Mechanical College of Texas, Baylor University of Waco, and University of Texas. He was admitted to the bar in 1884. Was Assistant City Attorney of Austin in 1885, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90. Was appointed by the Governor of Texas Attorney of the 26th Judicial District in 1891. Was elected to said office 1892, 94, and 96. Was elected to the 56th, 57th, 58th, 59th, 60th, 61st, 62nd, and 63rd Congresses. Appointed Postmaster General March 4, 1913, and confirmed March 6, 1913. John C. Coons, first Assistant Postmaster General, entered the service as a railway postal clerk. Was transferred to Washington and made Post Office Inspector, subsequently made Chief of the Division of Salaries and Allowances, and member of the Partial Post Commission, in which latter connection his services were considered of especial value and importance. Appointed Chief Post Office Inspector, and upon the resignation of the late First Assistant Postmaster General, Daniel C. Roper, was named to succeed him. His legal residence is in Carroll County, Maryland. Otto Praeger, 2nd Assistant Postmaster General, was born in Victoria, Texas, 1871. Legal residence, San Antonio, Texas. Took a course of instruction in the University of Texas, and was a student on political economy under David F. Houston, now Secretary of Agriculture. Engaged in the newspaper business at San Antonio in 1887, San Antonio Light and San Antonio Express. Was for a time city clerk of said city. Was engaged in newspaper work as Washington correspondent when appointed Postmaster of Washington, D.C., and in August 1915 was appointed 2nd Assistant to succeed Hon. Joseph Stewart. Alexander Monroe Dockery, 3rd Assistant Postmaster General, is a native of Missouri, born in Daviess County, educated at Macon Academy. Studied medicine, graduated and practiced it for a while, but later engaged in the banking business. Served in Congress from March 3, 1883 to March 3, 1899. Member of Committee of Appropriations, 12 years. Committee Post Offices and Post Roads, 4 years. Governor of Missouri from 1901 to 1905. Was author of the bill extending the special delivery system to all post offices. Also extending free delivery service to small cities. Advocated the first appropriation for rural delivery. Chairman of the commission which bore his name, constituted by Congress for administrative reforms in the conduct of public business, and author of the act creating a new accounting system for the Treasury Department, and many other public measures which have made his name familiar to the public and political life of the country. James I. Blakesley, 4th Assistant Postmaster General, was born at Mauch Chunk, Pennsylvania, December 17, 1870. Public school education, supplemented with special courses at Bethlehem Preparatory School, Cheltenham Military Academy and High School, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Was connected with the Lehigh Valley and Pennsylvania Railroads as telegraph operator and assistant yardmaster. Lieutenant, Company E, 8th Regiment, National Guards, 1897. Commissioned same rank and regiment, U.S. Volunteers, and appointed quartermaster and commissary, Reserve Hospital Corps, U.S. Army during the Spanish-American War. Removed to Layton in 1899. Chairman, Democratic Committee of Carbon County, 1905. Assemblyman, Pennsylvania Legislature, 1907-09 term, and subsequently made Secretary, Democratic State Committee, where his organizing ability won him national recognition. Preface. This little work on postal affairs aims to familiarize postal employees and others with the operations of the Post Office Department in all its varied and numerous details. No attempt was made to cover the wide field of postal activity and inquiry for which a much larger book and much greater space would be required. It is simply meant to be a book of reference, a sort of handbook on postal subjects for busy people who may not care to read lengthy accounts or stories which a few paragraphs might sufficiently explain, or care to wrestle with columns of figures which are best given in official reports and chiefly valuable to public men for legislative purposes, for comparison and survey. All necessary postal knowledge of immediate public interest is herein set forth in such compact shape as to acquaint the reader with what he might want to know, or direct his inquiry to sources of wider information if the desire was not satisfied with the reference thereto which this work might afford. In general, it will be found amply sufficient for all ordinary purpose, as the scope of the subject is as wide as the active operations of the Department at present include. The special articles referring to subjects of general postal interest cover a considerable range of inquiry, and deal more fully with those matters which are but briefly mentioned in that portion devoted to the purely business details of the Department. Much of this material is new, and all of it treated so as to interest the reader. These articles on general postal topics, in connection with the other matter herewith given, relating to the Postal Service, may please some one here and there, and perhaps justify the publication of this little contribution to the literature of the time. L. M., Washington, D.C., March 15, 1917. To Mr. Ruskin McArdle, late Private Secretary to the Postmaster General, now Chief Clerk of the Department, whose friendly regard I have long enjoyed, and whose courteous and considerate treatment to all with whom his official relations have brought him into contact, this little volume is respectfully dedicated as a mark of appreciation and a token of deep and lasting esteem. The Author. Organization of the Department. The operations of the Postal Service are conducted by divisional arrangement, with the duties of each accurately and specifically defined. Previous to this administration, much of the work of the various bureaus was found to be overlapping each other and exercising a separate authority in correlated matters. These officially related duties were each brought under a proper head, ensuring proper attention and fixing a definite responsibility which has been found to be of recognized benefit and value. Office of the Postmaster General. Postmaster General, Albert S. Burleson, Texas. Private Secretary, Robert E. Cowart, Texas. Chief Clerk, Ruskin McArdle, Texas. Assistant Chief Clerk, William W. Smith, Tennessee. Division of Solicitor. Solicitor, William H. Lamar, Maryland. Assistant Attorneys, J. Julian Sutherland, North Carolina. Walter E. Kelly, Ohio. Edwin E. Neese, Pennsylvania. John A. Nash, Pennsylvania. Bond Examiner, Horace J. Donnelly, District of Columbia. Law Clerk, Arthur J. Couse, Ohio. Division of Purchasing Agent. Purchasing Agent, James A. Edgerton, New Jersey. Chief Clerk, Frederick H. Austin, Missouri. Division of Post Office Inspectors. Chief Inspector, George M. Sutton, Missouri. Chief Clerk, J. Robert Cox, North Carolina. Appointment Clerk, vacant. Dispersing Clerk, William M. Mooney, Ohio. Office of the First Assistant Postmaster General. First Assistant Postmaster General, John C. Coons, Maryland. Chief Clerk, John W. Johnston, New York. Division of Post Office Service. Superintendent Goodwin D. Ellsworth, North Carolina. Assistant Superintendent William S. Ryan, New York. Division of Postmasters Appointments. Superintendent Charles R. Hodges, Texas. Assistant Superintendent Laurel N. Morgan, West Virginia. Assistant Superintendent Simon E. Sullivan, Maryland. Division of Dead Letters. Superintendent Marvin M. McLean, Texas. Office to the Second Assistant Postmaster General. Second Assistant Postmaster General Otto Prager, Texas. Chief Clerk Eugene R. White, Vermont. Division of Railway Mail Service. General Superintendent William I. Denning, Georgia. Assistant General Superintendent George F. Stone, New York. Chief Clerk Chase C. Gove, Nebraska. Division of Foreign Mails. Superintendent Robert L. Maddox, Kentucky. Assistant Superintendent Stewart M. Weber, Pennsylvania. Assistant Superintendent at New York Edwin Sands, New York. Division of Railway Adjustments. Superintendent James B. Corridon, District of Columbia. Assistant Superintendent George E. Bandel, Maryland. Office of the Third Assistant Postmaster General. Third Assistant Postmaster General Alexander M. Dockery, Missouri. Chief Clerk William J. Barrows, Missouri. Division of Finance. Superintendent William E. Buffington, Pennsylvania. Division of Postal Savings. Director Carter B. Keene, Maine. Assistant Director Charles H. Fullaway, Pennsylvania. Chief Clerk Harry H. Thompson, Maryland. Division of Money Orders. Superintendent Charles E. Matthews, Oklahoma. Chief Clerk F. H. Rainey, District of Columbia. Division of Classification. Superintendent William C. Wood, Kansas. Division of Stamps. Superintendent William C. Fitch, New York. Division of Registered Mails. Superintendent Leighton V. B. Marshall, Kentucky. Office of the Fourth Assistant Postmaster General. Fourth Assistant Postmaster General James I. Blakesley, Pennsylvania. Chief Clerk J. King Pickett, Alabama. Division of Rural Mails. Superintendent George L. Wood, Maryland. Assistant Superintendent Edgar R. Ryan, Pennsylvania. Chief Clerk Lansing M. Dow, New Hampshire. Division of Equipment and Supplies. Superintendent Alfred B. Foster, California. Assistant Superintendent vacant. Chief Clerk vacant. Office of the Auditor for the Post Office Department. Auditor Charles A. Cram, Pennsylvania. Assistant and Chief Clerk Terrence H. Sweeney, Minnesota. Law Clerk Faber Stevenson, Ohio. Expert Accountant Louis M. Bartlett, Massachusetts. Electrical Accounting System. Chief of Divisions Louis Bren, Illinois. Joshua H. Clark, Maryland. James R. White, District of Columbia. Miscellaneous Division Chief Jasper N. Baker, Kansas. Latest Facts of Postal Interest. Report of Postmaster General, fiscal year ending June 30th, 1917. The long-continued agitation between the railroads and the Post Office Department over the method of payment for mail transportation is in process of settlement by actual tests. The contention is whether the basis of payment shall be by weight or by the space used. While the space rate is the higher of the two, it lends itself to rational readjustment, and is therefore best for government needs. The tests made show a savings of about $7 million per annum by the space method. The efficiency standard now required of postmasters has, it is stated, greatly improved the service, and the announced policy of the Department to reappoint all those who render meritorious service has been adhered to and will be continued. During the year June 30th, 1917, 38 second-class offices were advanced to the first class, 135 third class to the second, and 1,203 fourth class to the third. Average annual salary of post office clerks is now $1,142 per annum. City carriers, $1,126.50. Removal of employees for cause are now rarely made. Statistics show less than 1% in both the post office and city carrier service. It is recommended that where, because of unusual conditions, rural carriers cannot be obtained at the maximum rate of pay, advertisements be issued calling for proposals for the performance of such service. Motor vehicle routes are now in operation on a total length of over 41,000 miles, averaging 50 miles per route at an average cost of $1,786.49 per route. There are now 43,463 rural routes in operation, covering 1,112,556 miles. Cost of rural service decreased 0.011 per patron during the year 1917. Cost per mile decreased 0.114 cents per mile. The cost per mile of travel by star route contractors is 0.1024. Cost per mile of travel by rural carrier is 0.1510. This difference in cost is receiving departmental consideration. Shipment of postal post packages increased 14% in 1917, the increase representing more than 25 million pieces. Cooperation of postmasters in bringing the insurance feature, particularly that of partial damage, prominently to public notice, has resulted in an increase of over $8 million in insured parcels over the showing of 1916. Growing carelessness in addressing letter mail resulted in 13 million letters being found undeliverable during 1917, an increase of 21%. The report shows an audited surplus for the year of $9,836,211, the largest in the history of the department. The increase over the preceding year was 5.66%, while the increase in cost was 4.45%. The audited revenues for the year amounted to $329,726,116. Remarkable growth in postal savings is shown. In 1917, there were 674,728 depositors with a total of $131,954,696 to their credit. The average balance for each depositor was $195.57. This was an increase over the previous year of 71,791 in the number of depositors, $45,934,811 in the amount, and $52.90 in the per capita balance. End of biographical sketches, preface, dedication, and organization.